Hello there, everybody. Welcome on into today's video. Greatly appreciate you taking time out of your day and swinging on over, checking her on out. We are here at some interviews and docs for DPR, Ian. This is not going to be the last video. I have decided to add on an extra video onto his week. I'm going to try, and hopefully it does not get blocked over here. I'm gonna try and watch the Zach Zhang show, that interview. Everybody says it's fantastic. It's about an hour long, so I moved it to its own playlist. So I did add that into it. Now, if that video by any chance does not show up over here on YouTube and is blocked, I will let you know down in the description if it doesn't upload. And I'll have it over on Patreon for free for you all to watch if you'd like. With that being said, if that does happen, then this would be the last video over on YouTube for his solo week. If that is the case, thank you for joining me. Hopefully you guys have had a good time exploring some of his music with me if you've never explored any of his stuff, or if you are a fan and you are joining me on my little journey here with him. Thank you. Do appreciate it. But we do have 3 videos today. Now, I do have a documentary. We are going to do his Memories in Disorder documentary. Then we're going to jump into, he did a Kiss FM, which could get blocked. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see. If it does, it will be over on Patreon for you for free, where he opens up about his songwriting process, mental health, everything. So we're going to be watching that. And then we're going to be wrapping up this playlist with a little video that apparently is a rite of passage to watch, which is DPR Ian Reid's Thirst Trap tweets. Can't believe we're going to watch this, but we're watching it. I expect some laughs on this one, and then maybe some cries and some tears in the other ones. We'll find out. I do have tissues on standby. I am an emotional Pisces. It could happen. But that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to kick it off with the documentary. So let's go. All right. This little 13-minute doc. How you doing? Did he edit this too? I sure.
For a long time, I felt like I had
believe so.
somebody else inside me. It felt like just a complete opposite world in which I was living in. A world that was very monotone. Yeah, it was very black and white, and my whole life I battled with this, I guess, other individual until I finally decided to make him come to life. And his name is MITO. So I wanted to start my album with the introduction to who MITO was. The beginning, the birth of MITO. Didn't have to think too much of what it might sound like. I'm just trying to stay alive. Take the fire down. Don't want to be alone. Keep the fire down. Don't want to be alone. Like, yes, today. I need something. I need a battle chant or something like that. Something very glorious, but at the same time very triumphant. Yesterday. Boom. So Beautiful was, I guess, very inspired by the idea that something so dark and sinister is actually something that's usually the most misunderstood. I wanted to depict MITO in his most darkest form. And the video for that, yeah, gosh.
Yeah.
First day of the shoot.
That MV set the tone. Insane.
머리. It's cold, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm like this, and then but then Mike was like, you know, like smiling or like. Yeah.
So, growing up, I also had a lot of struggles when it came to relationships. As high as you go, your lows and your dips, you tend to push away the people that really care for you. And that's how I experienced a lot of heartbreak.
Aww.
And I decided to make that into a song called Dope Lovers.
Dope lover, you'd say no number, I like your face. You're smiling, I'm sorry.
Probably get the harm right there.
You're smiling, I'm sorry. She's vibing, no compass. Was all for a kiss.
Was it for a kiss or was it from the kiss? Because honestly, I think a lot of shit happens after the kiss. Maybe the ending for that, Dope
Seeing
is
his
also associated
process
with
through this is
a drug.
fascinating.
So in terms, it's such an addictive love that you can't stray away from it. But at the end of the day, you just keep coming back for more and more.
Ooh.
No Blueberries. I actually made that song about 2 years ago. I remember at the time I was feeling very angry. I don't know about what, but I've just figured I'd make a song about just people that you don't associate yourself with, that you're not very familiar with, and no matter what you do, you just can't connect to them. And I associated that with Blueberries.
이건 가죽 자켓이고, 그리고 이거는 그냥 블랙 진인데 부츠컷으로 되어 있는 거고.
This is like a...
I need a hostage free, I need a rocket ship.
뭔가 I just want to draw that.
Losing my too soft.
I'm running away from the Blueberry Monster.
그거 트렌드에서는 못해요. 받고 가다가 그냥 오는 그 주차장에서 들어갈게요.
So creepy.
I'm gonna do something like that.
조금 기괴하게 뭔가 이렇게 막 손을 이렇게 막 다 둘 다 이렇게 열어도 되고.
잘하고 있어.
너 그냥 쫄았는데 지금?
Oh wait, Tommy, stop. Stop.
But is Puppy?
Made a lot of bad decisions in my life, and for whatever it's worth, I'm sure it built me to become who I am now. But honestly, there are times where I regret a lot of my decisions. Yeah, Nerves was one of the songs that I had to make to express that.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, go, 2. I know I was was hurting. It doesn't sound like I'm hurting. I was hurting too much. I was hurting too much to know that you were standing right there. I think that's the one.
John, is it okay to curse here in the video?
Yes.
This is fucking good.
Scaredy Cat
man.
was a song that was
Yes,
inspired by
it's
my
so
fear
good.
and my fear of everything almost. So for Scaredy Cat, I think what I want is to have this character, this other character that's living inside of MITO. You know, the one that's always scared, but curious. And I'm sure you've heard of the term curiosity killed the cat. So that's essentially what it is, a scaredy cat. What do you do when you're scared?
2, 3, 4.
More heart attacks. I think I'm scared.
One, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to the show. However, you guys should know, with this show comes a lot of anxiety,
Ugh.
a lot of doubt, a lot of fear, a lot of stress, a lot of things that I can't explain to you other than this is who I am and this is me. But regardless, I still want to welcome you to my show. Welcome to the show. It's a grand entrance for the acceptance of who MITO is. You know, it's going to be like center stage. Takes one breath and just stay for the show. No candlelights to take you home.
I tried to hide it.
Ugh.
I'm scared of what's next. I still don't know where to go.
But
Welcome to the show.
you know, and then it just dies down a little bit.
Amazing.
This is the end. This is the end. When I was making No Silhouette, I imagined, you know, some rundown MITO after he'd been through his whole journey. You know, he's like a superhero. But with every up, there comes a down. I just imagined, you know, MITO went through his prime and now he's coming on the down, and as he's coming down, he's returning back to Ian. And Ian finally understanding why he needs MITO.
No silhouette. No silhouette. In the sun.
This is the end.
I lost myself in the sun. I lost myself in the sun. I lost myself.
Ooh, his vocals. God
딱 좋다.
damn.
딱 원하는 느낌이다. 우리도 이렇게 딱 앨범 아트를 찍었으니까
아 이제
얼굴이 여기에 딱 있고 이제 약간 이런 식으로 해서
온도에 따라서 이게 변하는 거니까 그 온도성을 좀 잘 생각을 하고 해야 될 것 같긴 해요. 온도만 저희가 주문을 하면 맞출 수는 있을 것 같아요.
Wow. Wow, that's insane. My God.
Oh, it's heat sensitive, but right now I just walked. It's so cold. And they open it, and then bam, have the mirror, and then the CD is gonna go right here.
Even the concept of it. Wow.
So I mean, up to now, a lot of you guys have probably known me for being behind the camera, and I don't know, now that I'm actually in front of the camera, it's been a while. I don't know. I think I'm not used to it yet, but honestly, I can say it's one hell of an experience. It's just beginning. I have so much more in store for you guys. Yeah, I just can't wait.
Okay. What insight to his whole process and thought process around this and bringing MITO to life through his music and artistry and MV style and story that he wanted to tell. Damn, what? He really made a whole concept around his anxiety, stress, like doubt, and made it into a full kind of storyline behind this other, like his other identity. Just mind-boggling. That is wild and so clever and good and damn. This whole process was just phenomenal. Just seeing just why he was writing each song for each purpose of the story that he wanted to tell is, jeez, I don't think I've seen an artist do that. That's crazy. Crazy. In the best way possible. Just, wow.
Dude, it is a pleasure to finally meet you, man.
I know. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. DPR Ian is here, and just funny backstory. Yeah,
Good old JoJo.
I had an interview with the artist Max.
Yes.
Just before you walked in,
Yeah.
and you were scheduled to come in about an hour after.
Right.
And I thought, I wonder if these schedules work out where you guys can kind of.
Yeah.
And you bumped into Max, and he seemed to love you. And what was that? Did you know? You didn't know that was going to happen?
I had no idea. Yeah, I was just coming back from the toilet, and yeah, I was just so shocked because it was, first of all, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Same.
Thank you so much. And yeah, and then all of a sudden, Max was there too, and it was just like, oh, it's meant to be, So who knows? Maybe future works. Maybe
that's if a collab happens. I just want to say
would be something.
I'm going to take credit for that collab if it happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, are you originally from Sydney, Australia?
That's correct.
And of course you moved to Seoul after that.
Yes, that's correct.
But you're not. Where's home now?
So that's a good question.
Oh wow! So you're all over, huh?
Yeah, I've been kind of like a nomad. I just kind of keep moving and moving. Honestly, right now it's LA. We just moved here about a year ago.
What do you think so far?
To be completely honest, I don't think we've experienced LA to the point where I can really kind of tell you like how it feels. But I do hear a lot of things. But first of all, I love the weather. It's very Australian. And for me, I think as soon as we got here, we went on tour, like a world tour. So I had spent more time out than in, and we just recently got back, and starting to feel it out now. But it's nice. It's nice.
Traffic when it comes to like LA traffic versus Sydney or Seoul, is LA like by far the worst traffic, or is it similar?
Yes.
I think when it gets, honestly, I think Korea traffic is something else.
Really?
Yeah, traffic in Asia, just period. Sydney, I think Sydney's kind of more similar to LA. When it gets congested, it just doesn't move at all. But it doesn't happen. I mean, you somehow still get through it. But in Korea, you just kind of, you're just like a sitting duck for the longest time, and you can maybe doze off and still come back and you'll move like a few inches. Yeah.
Oh God, it sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Hey, and I read somewhere that you had lost your Australian accent when you moved to Seoul, but I hear your Australian accent perfect.
Really?
Yeah.
To be honest though, it really did die down a lot because in Korea we don't have that many I haven't met too many Australian Koreans or Australians period, and my crew and the people that I hung around with at that time were speaking American English.
Right.
So then when I started mixing my accent with the American accent, and then I tried speaking Korean because I wasn't really good at it. I started sounding very like they have like a very interesting accent. It sounds like a very like North Korean accent. So people thought I was from the North. Are you adventurous? Like, do you travel a lot too? I feel like you would.
You know what? If I could, I would.
Yeah.
I'm in
So
Burbank
busy.
so much over here.
Oh,
so
boy.
yeah, you know. All right. Hey, once again, DPR Ian saying out. I need to know the backstory of,
Yep.
and granted, I've read all this, stuff, but
Yep.
we were talking off air. There's more to
DPR.
what I have read about DPR and the backstory, and what does it mean? Is it a production crew? How do you
Right.
see what is DPR?
Well, DPR stands for Dream Perfect Regime, and honestly, in the beginning, the acronyms were a little different. I came up with the acronyms right around the time I left C-Clown, which used to be my old K-pop idol group.
Right.
So it was in pursuit of trying to create something new in the scene, and at that time in Korea, there wasn't too many, I would say, production companies that went off independently. So for me, the dream was to kind of create a movement where you have
Wait, did
your
he-
in-house productions.
Did he develop
and your in-house artists?
DPR?
Really
Is this
come
the first
together
time I'm hearing
creatively
this?
and
What?
build some type of vision. And for me, it was just all about art, and that's kind of when I picked up the camera. And as I was telling you earlier, the acronyms used to be director, Pink Reel,
Director
Pink, and then Reel.
Director Pink Reel. Now what?
Yeah.
What in the world does that mean?
You know what? If you ask me now, I have no idea. I have no idea. But I used to do these like, you know how people have watermarks on their videos and
Right.
stuff. So I used to squiggle like these pink lines. I don't know why. I really don't. I wish I did. But slowly and surely, we started as a production company. So we shot a lot of music videos for certain companies, artists, idols. And all of a sudden, we decided to rebrand the DPR acronyms to Dream Perfect Regime, which kind of stands for, the word regime is pretty like, it could sound intense, nowadays, but
Right.
it's kind of like, for us, it was just a strong enough word to describe our passion to wanting to create a dream that supported, like, I think, independent thought and creative ideas. And because I feel like in Korea, there's such a, I wouldn't call lack, but a lot of people are scared to have a voice in general. Just because,
Really?
yes, because I think it's more generally based on the idea if you stick out too much, you could be judged a lot. And for, Asian communities especially, I think in terms there's a lot of, we call it nunchi in Korea, which means you're kind of overlooking what that person might think of you. And it's a very conservative way of thinking as well at the same time. I think it's a cultural thing. But because of that, it really does have its pros and cons. But if you really think about it, it is a big echo chamber.
Right.
So I kind of wanted to bring out the idea of, like, you could be different and you can really speak out about it, and you could still find a way to make it in the scene. And I think that's what DPR really stands for. It's the independence of kind of believing in yourself. And that's kind of where we took our vision for Dream Perfect Regime.
So a lot of people that work with you have that kind of out of the box thinking, so to speak.
100%. I would say none of us are normal.
Well, you came to the right place over here, that's for sure. I got to hear about
I
this
love
track, Ian, because I feel like this track has either an interesting or unusual backstory just with the title alone, Peanut Butter and Tears. What can you say? It's got to be a wild story, right?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
All right, give me all them details.
I think, so just to briefly put it, I think I made this song about a couple of months back, last year, I believe. And for Australians, for the people in Australia, we don't call it peanut butter and jelly, as you guys call it in America.
What do you call it?
we call it toast.
We call it
like
toast.
literally, we just call it toast. So I found
What
that
if the toast has peanut butter and jelly on it?
We actually do. So we have peanut butter and jam.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, but we even so, it's not a usual combo. Like we usually put like honey and Vegemite.
Ugh.
You love? Have you
No,
tried Vegemite?
I've tried it. Maybe I haven't tried it in the proper way.
Yes.
Maybe it gets a bad rap.
Uh-huh.
But I had a friend who, showed up and, it was an art. She was an artist. She is an artist.
Yeah.
And she showed up with the Vegemite.
Wow.
And maybe just the fear of the taste of it really kind of, I took a bite of it and
Yeah.
it was not the thing.
I agree though. You probably can't eat it as it is. I would never do that. Like, I don't know how people can. I don't even know what it's made out of, but we put that with honey. But then anyway, like you guys have peanut butter and jelly, which was I found was very interesting. I like the name because I didn't know jelly was like the actual jam that you guys use.
Right.
So I thought, wow. For some reason, like I have eaten peanut butter and jam before, but for some reason I just wanted to eat it, knowing that it's called peanut butter and jelly now. Does that make sense? Like,
just to be part of this whole thing.
Yeah, just to be part of it. And
He's adorable.
I think there's a period in time where I got really addicted to it. So I was like, oh, I don't know why I loved it so
it's
much.
It's good. That's why.
It's so good.
It's delicious.
Oh my God, it's so
My
good.
favorite.
Especially like it's something like Crustables or something, and then you have like
Good old
peanut butter
Crustable.
filling and jam.
Oh,
Yeah,
yep.
I could eat that all day, and I did eat it all day. So there was a period in time where I got really hooked on it, and it kind of reminded me of when I was younger. I was like, oh, I didn't really think of peanut butter and jelly. Like, I don't know why I'm so honed into it now as to when I was younger. And you kind of think when you're younger, the appeal of the peanut butter and jelly is because you're so youthful and you're so innocent and you take everything as it is. You kind of see the world like that. It's more colorful, and that's why peanut butter and jelly. It for me right now, because I've kind of grown and I feel like I've grown out of my shoes. Like, it just serves as a friendly reminder of what I possibly must have like really enjoyed when I was young. So I think I gave it like such a meaning to it. But then when I look back as a kid, it really wasn't anything.
So it's so the song itself, Peanut Butter Tears, is some sort of a nostalgic
It is
kind of
nostalgic. And I think it's in reverse. So when I was younger, it's kind of like I kind of saw the world as something that's like a playground. But it wasn't that special because when you're young, you just kind of perceive it as it is. But only when you grow out of it, you kind of tend to realize what was special, what was so special about it, because you have something to compare it to now. And I think that's what peanut butter and tears have come from. So jelly, for me, was like this significant part where it introduced the fun and joy. I do like peanut butter, but I mean, I feel like the jam jelly really does a lot of, and it's colorful. And so I feel like that with tears is kind of like the adolescence of understanding your maturity and growing out of your youth. And it's for me kind of works backwards, because as I get older, I kind of tend to want to become or tend to find myself when I was more youthful. And but when you're younger, you just kind of take it as it is, and it really wasn't a big deal, and you just kind of tend to forget as you get older.
This is okay. I don't know if I've ever heard. I don't think I've ever played a song on the radio.
Oh, really?
Called Peanut Butter. I don't think. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
So this is a special moment. So it's one of those things.
Thank you. That's nice.
Yeah, DPRE, and of course Peanut Butter Tears. Must check that. And
Yes, please.
new album in the works.
Yeah.
Don't leak what you can't say, or I don't know what what.
That's okay. I'll just say it.
Oh God.
He's like, I don't care.
No. So that
I'm gonna tell
single
you.
is part of the album called Dear Insanity. Dear Insanity is a side story to the main story, which is based on a character called MITO. So MITO is the character that I switch into when I go on a very manic low, because I have bipolar.
Right.
So I have a tendency to switch, kind of like DID, into a character called MITO. And I based my whole artistry and concept around that character.
Ugh,
I mean, knowing well enough,
genius.
if you give a certain, I guess you could call a disorder a name, I know how much power you're giving to it. But for me, if it wasn't that, like, I really don't know what to sing about and really how to express my art. So for me, that was the main kind of storyline, which is why you have the first EP and the second official album based on this character MITO. And it's pretty much just about where he fits and how he's developed in this world, and where he comes from, and it's a very fantasy like tale. But this side EP called Dear Insanity, which is coming out, I forgot the date, but it's coming out probably next 2 months or something. It's pretty much a side story based on the character Mr. Insanity, which
Right.
is, as you know, as if I have my lows, this a character that represents my highs, and that is Mr. Insanity. So it's like this ongoing feud of your lows and your highs, and you're stuck right in between. So for me, like I always thought, being lukewarm, where I've only ever known in my life extremely highs and extreme lows. So for me, like being in the middle, lukewarm, it always served as a very uncomfortable position.
But now you're
And
trying to get more comfortable with the lukewarm. Is
yeah,
that
yeah. I think when I was younger, it was more about the fear of like, what if I dip, and the fear of well, not the fear, but kind of more of the pressure of like, I really want to go up, because I've always wanted to stay high, with my manic highs, because it was just more, you felt a very overpowered, and spontaneous. Granted, it's spontaneous, but you felt everything aligned. But I mean, when you're down there, it's like a whole switch. It feels like a complete different world. And
wow?
the projects that you start when you're here, as to when you're down here, you kind of don't know how you did it. So like there'll be some times when I'll be making a song, and say like Mr. Insanity would be making a song, and then I'll switch to MITO, and then MITO would flip the song, and all of a sudden you have this first part of the song sounding like some electronic indie type of genre, and then all of a sudden it changes to orchestral and very like requiem
Ooh.
style classical music. And I'll just wake up to it, and I'm like, oh, I have no idea what happened here. So
Can I ask a question about that? And
Yeah.
maybe it's a sensitive question, but
That's okay.
I've had a friend with bipolar,
Yeah.
and when you're creating a song, you said you can switch from the characters, meaning the high or the low of
Yep.
bipolar.
that is correct.
So you can control that, or it just happens? Because my friend could not
Yeah,
control.
You have no control of that.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. It's kind of like a chemical imbalance that goes in your brain, I think. And I mean, depending on the type. So for me, it's type 1 is I think just rapidly high, intense moments, and it's sometimes the manic episodes could go for certain periods of like a week, 2, even months for some people. But you feel it, like you definitely. It's kind of like when, I know if this is an interesting metaphor, but when animals feel an earthquake's coming, it's kind of like you feel as if something's changing inside you.
You can tell it's
Mhm.
like you can feel the rumble.
Oh yes, yes. And I think that's when you know, okay, I'm dipping, because we have a saying where it's like what goes up must come down, but then what goes down, it's kind of like a hill, and you roll a ball and it catches momentum and it goes down and it kind of goes back up, slowly creeps back up, and then just enough to tip down again. So it's like a constant wave. And for me, I've realized, I think people are different. For me, I realized I'm very seasonal. So when the weather changes, my body becomes extremely sensitive to that, I guess, imbalance. And then that tips me as well. So it's before, like they used to call me the weatherman, because it was like,
The
every time
weatherman.
I go
Oh
down,
no.
they know something's going to
Here
change with
comes
the
the
weather.
rain. Yeah.
Yeah, and funny enough, that's how it really did happen. So yeah, it was only until I started making this into a character, and in my music. And I think the craziest part was when I first saw that character, because for me, when I switch, I usually don't have people around me, because I'm scared of what I might say or what I might do, and I'll never remember that when I wake up, because you just kind of go in a little blackout. And I think the first time it was hard, because I was now making this into a character. I gave it a name, so I know how much power there is in that already. But shooting the music video for that, it was like,
Oh wow. Yeah.
yeah, I kind of it was the first time I let my switch happen on screen. We kind of, well, I kind of scheduled the music video shoot to be when I was on the decline, and I think funny enough, I was at my peak, and
It seems kind of terrifying in a way.
it is
like,
very
'cause
terrifying.
If you're worried about controlling what you're,
100%. But I thought, if not now, when. So that was so beautiful. That was music video so beautiful. and the scenes that you see in So
Wow.
Beautiful where it's all black and white, that was my switch. And what was funny was on set, I remember just walking up to it and thinking, I can't believe this is happening. And then the camera was ready to roll, and you know, we're speeding, and I kind of took a moment. I kind of asked them when we were going to start rolling it, and then they said, and we got this all on behind the scenes, but they said, I've already done 3 takes of it.
What?
Yeah.
So that's one of those blackout moments.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
that
was
is
the switch.
fascinating.
Yeah, and I was honestly very surprised. You know, even thinking now,
And you couldn't remember any of the
No.
3 takes.
no, and I didn't believe them but then I was drenched because there was a scene where it was a room and the room was raining, just raining hard, and I didn't believe them until I went to the monitors. And when I saw the monitors, that was the first time I could actually see my switch being recorded. So it was, I think for me, the most relieving, but at the same time terrifying things I've ever seen in my life.
And clearly, when you saw the footage,
Yeah.
you must have loved it. Obviously,
It was a little it was hard to edit. I'll give you that. It was a little hard to edit because I tried to leave in as much as I could, but there were some parts that I just couldn't leave
Right.
in. But so I had to make a significant, I guess, point that all the black and white scenes there weren't me, which is why that music video goes from color to straight black and white. So that's the little significance. If
and this
yeah.
is all fascinating. How you've
Yeah.
taken this and kind of taken control over it
Yes,
in a way.
yeah.
Like I mean, you've embraced it in a way.
Yes, I think I would like to think I embraced it, but at the same time, the one thing that I think I'm somewhat troubled with is, it was kind of, and this was the I guess the hard decision that I had to make, because I wasn't really planning on becoming an artist, because I knew if I wanted to do music and kind of go in the spotlight with this, it meant that I would have to be talking about something that's very personal. And for me, if you give any disorder or anything a name, I know how much power you give to it. But at the same time,
Reason you gave it, because I would think this is my question from the outside looking in.
yes,
I would think if you name it,
yes,
you can kind of, I don't know, you can kind of,
take control.
yeah, maybe, but that's not the case, or is it?
I think that was my approach in the beginning. I think my approach was finding out more about it, finding out more about certain disorders that are linked to this. And I think for me, it was the more I dug, the more it took a hold of me, I think. And the funny thing is, like, with these switches, it's like it doesn't. It's like it's really based on like me, Ian, right now. It's really based on how I am physically and mentally right now. So if I, let's say, am at the healthiest I've ever been, so is my disorders, so is my switches.
Right.
It's actually, for me, I found out it wasn't like, oh, you know, you get healthy and, you know, you figure out a healthy lifestyle. It's like the switches will always happen. You can't really control your manic episodes. And a lot of people are obviously prescribed medication. But I'm sure you'll hear this I'm sure a lot of people that have bipolar that are in the, I think, artistic expressive scene, they'll tell you this. They'll say medication will numb you and it will make you feel like not yourself, which is probably worse. So I mean, that's the only reason
Gotcha.
why I think medication was one thing that I would resort to. But then imagine taking that and then you have to go on set and shoot something or make music, or you have to go on stage. You'll be going off as a zombie. So
Yeah, that would be kind of that would probably defeat some of the purpose of going up there, being
yes,
dynamic and
100%,
whatnot. Now, I assume you've had, fans, friends, let's just focus on fans part of it. Like,
Yep.
your fans,
Yes.
you're not the only one to deal with, by being bipolar.
No.
Have they come up to you and said, hey,
Oh my
I have
God.
this too? And what's been that interaction? I'm sure that you've helped quite a few people, and maybe they've helped you.
Oh, I would say they gave me meaning. So I think during the period of time, because I kind of
This
debuted
is
during Corona.
fascinating.
So I was a Corona
And
artist, and
Which is no fun time.
which is no fun because there's no shows. So I literally,
Oh God.
yeah, I literally put out an album, and then my second album, before ever understanding or ever knowing what type of reach I had with what type of crowd. So I think it was so right after that, we went on world tour once Corona kind of died down a little, and it was the first time I got to see who my music was impacting. And I would always remember like not the shows itself, but really when the shows finish, and you know how you go to the bus and if the fans are waiting for you, I would always take time to listen to as many of the fans' stories as I could, because I think it was the first time I got to see who it was impacting. And I would always remember all these fans per show would say
it's adorable.
how
It's
much
so sweet.
my songs saved their lives.
Wow.
And for me to hear that, it's like I can't fathom that. Like I just that's exactly what I wanted it for it to do, but I think it was such a different approach when I actually heard it. And I think for me, I always say this, but it makes all of these things that I was just telling you about, becoming an artist, and potentially becoming maybe more self-destructive in a way where you are honing into a certain disorder and you're bringing it more to life. But I think by uncovering it, it becomes so much worthwhile to fans if it becomes that type of representation where it's like, if you can, I mean, there's a saying where it's like, if I could just remember, but something along the lines of the disorder doesn't represent who you are. And for me, I think that's kind of the message I really did want to bring when I wanted to make this really personal, because I think at the end of the day, I was researching certain people that have the same type of bipolar. That was my first go-to, as like celebrities or people in the scene. And just to my dismay, I think there was a lot more tragic incidents in this scene with people with that type of disorder. So I kind of wanted to be more of that beacon of like hope, I guess you could say.
Right.
But at the same time, I do know how self-destructive it might be, because I think the one thing you don't want to give people with certain manic disorders is you don't want to stimulate them too much, because if you're in your manic highs, the more you're stimulated, the more you get, I would say, insane ideas, and you'll truly believe it. And I think for me, it's like the approach of like knowing how to balance that, but there is no balance.
Because it's crazy. One thing you said was, and by the way, I didn't mean, I have a list of questions I was going to ask you, and none of them included.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
No, but I appreciate you talking about this.
Yeah.
They say never, if you're sick, you have a cold or whatever, never go on to one of the medical websites, because if you log on, no matter if you get just a cold, you're going to think you're going to die. So you're going to feel worse.
So true.
Don't look it up.
You just don't look up whatever you're feeling, because then you're like, oh God,
I'm sorry if
what's happening?
I mean, I would have never asked, but now that you brought it up, I felt like, man, I felt like you needed to go there for some reason, and I really was curious on what you had to say.
No
so
worries.
thank you. Okay, one of the questions I was going to ask you though, when I first started getting tats,
I love him, by the way.
But thank you very much. But before I got tats, I would ask somebody like, "Hey, how many tats do you have?" And they would go, "I don't know." And I would think, "How do you not know how many tats you have?" Then I start getting tats, and somebody says, "How many tats you got, JoJo?" I'm like, "I don't know." So
I don't know.
How many tats do you have?
I was like, in my head, I was going to count as many as I could. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
Why are tattoos so addicting, for lack of a better word?
I think the addiction part comes from like after you get your first one, and then you're like, okay, this feels empty. I feel like this needs to be a little bit more covered. I think that's kind of where you start getting the addiction. But for me, I think because of how spontaneous I am, I think for me it's more. In the beginning, it was like funny enough. I mean, I keep going back to this, but every time I have a certain event, good or bad,
right,
that happens that is kind of life altering for me, I would always mark that as a tattoo.
No kidding.
And it doesn't matter where I'm at. So it would be if I remember I was in Peru for this one. So I was in the mountains and I just had like a very eureka type of moment. And I just went to the village and they started poking this on my hand.
Oh man, it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I couldn't finish it because it hurt so bad. But yeah, and that's another thing. Are you good at
no
paint? Oh, sorry.
Like, I can't get. I hate getting shots. You know.
Oh yeah.
Same.
But and granted, getting a shot is different than a tattoo.
Yeah.
It's more of a scratching thing. I get
Right.
that, but I'm not a needle fan.
Right.
Same.
Oh,
So,
Jojo.
you're like me
Same.
then.
It's just one of them weird things. Do you have any tattoo regrets or?
I think I have like a couple of tattoos that I'm like, oh, I don't remember when I took that because I have so many moments. And I'll just kind of do it over, I think. But for now, I think it's fine. I think.
Doing good now. All right.
Yeah.
You don't know this about me. This is the final thing I'll touch on.
Yes.
And this has nothing to do with music, nothing to do with you really.
Okay.
I will see. I don't know. I am obsessed with the paranormal.
Oh wow.
Ghost, UFOs,
Wow.
everything in between. I've got a podcast called Paranormalish. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm there.
Wow.
Have you ever had anything, any experience that you would consider
Yes.
paranormal?
To be completely honest, yeah, it's like when I do these switches.
Oh wow. Okay.
Do you believe that the human mind, the consciousness, our brains are capable of I'll guess training new type of skills to a person or understanding. For example, if you there's a part of your brain, I feel like when you switch, if you're someone that felt pain physically and you're so
Yes.
not good at feeling pain, and you switch to a character, and that character had different type of wiring in the brain because you allowed yourself to switch. Do you believe that it's capable that a person could now not feel pain?
I think it's certainly certainly possible.
Right,
I don't know
depending-
how it would work.
Right.
You know, I think everyone would love to learn how to
Right.
harness that, channel it, or just do
Right.
it in general. But I think that's,
Do it in general. I think that's good.
I think
Yeah.
that would be, I think it would be possible.
Right.
Can you do that?
For me, that the switches to the character MITO, it kind of has that representation of knowing different things. And this is why I say this is probably why I black out too, because it's kind of more like he sounds different, reaches a octave that I can't reach.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So there's a
and
physical change.
There's a physical change and a whole demeanor change and knowledge change. So there'll be things that I have no knowledge about, and he would have a lot of knowledge.
Which okay, not to get too deep.
Yep.
But you being Ian as you are now,
Yep.
you cannot hit a certain octave.
Yes. That's
But you
correct.
switch this other character,
it's
and
a
you
certain
can,
octave. That's
which
correct.
means your body, you have the
capability
to do that.
Yeah.
So is it a matter of just making your mind, just believing in yourself?
I think so.
Is that kind of what it is? Like if you can just believe, and
Yeah.
is that?
I don't know. I've tried so many times because because what we do is we record this and just for self documentation. My team has been on it for a while,
Right.
And it's something so paranormal to me that it's hard to believe, and at the same time, like you are seeing it and you just can't make sense of it.
That's fascinating and
So-
kind of cool. That is kind of cool.
It
in a
is
way.
kind of cool. I
Learning
think,
how to harness that is the kicker. I'm
Is the
guessing.
kicker.
For anyone, not just you.
Right.
But wow,
Yeah.
Ian, you are a fascinating dude.
Oh,
He really is.
And you gotta,
he
we gotta
really
chat more
is.
and do
Thank
some
you.
food.
I
You
love
live in
it.
LA now.
I
Yeah.
would love to. Thank you so much. That would be
Absolutely.
nice.
Well, final question. I promise.
Yes.
Message to your fans. What would you like to say to your fans? New fans, current, old fans, whatever.
Yeah. I would honestly like to say everything like we even talked about today. Like we call our fans dreamers. And
Okay, so it is streamers to
I
answer
think
my question
literally,
from
like,
the previous video.
our fans are the only reason
I'm sure you
we're
all told
like
me in the
really
comments, but
doing
same
this,
hoodie,
honestly.
recording the
I
same
don't know
day.
any other reason to be doing this. I'm not chasing anything else but to give a voice
I'm
to
done.
our dreamers and fans out there. Well, not even just fans too, just people that kind of need reassurance. I always found the idea of being perfect was accepting how imperfect everything is. And I think that's kind of generally what needs more representation of. Hence, which is why, you know, our team in DPR and all that, we really kind of do strive for that. And I think at the end of the day, it really just does boil down to, it's because we're doing it for our fans and the people out there that hopefully become our fans.
Yeah.
So I just want to say a big thank you.
Sorry,
And
gotta jump.
you know, we always find our way to you guys. We always do. So, you know, just keep that in mind. And, you know, obviously we have so many new things coming out. The whole Dear Insanity EP and the law continues.
There you go.
And yeah, we love them so much. I don't know what else to say.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure of mine. Thank you so much. It's an honor. Really.
It's honor's mine. At the end of every interview, Ian, fist bump to make it official. Give me a little. Yeah.
Thank you.
Jojo. Jojo's wild, by the way. This was fascinating. There were no words. I was just so enthralled in what he was talking about, like with his process going through songwriting, and then talking about how his mental health affected, you know, sides of him recording or MV. I didn't realize that during that first MV that that he had actually switched into MITO. I didn't realize that. That makes the MV even like that more fascinating. And wow, he's just something else. He's phenomenal, this man. Hi, how are you? You're good? You're just a little kitty energy? Orange kitty energy over here? Hi. Oh, geez, you're gonna knock over my drink. Goodness gracious, this is what I have to live with, guys. Okay, all right. So, after going super deep into this whole process and getting really personal with some of his struggles, now we're going to switch tones here and, you know, do the rite of passage of the thirst trap tweets. I have no idea what's going to happen here. But here we go. All right.
Bark, bark. Like the folds in your body create another hole. Christian Yu smells, like sex. Someone's gonna pounce on my dick. Someone wants to eat my arm. Woof, woof, bitch. G'day guys, this is Christian Yu, otherwise known as DPR Ian, and I'm here with BuzzFeed. And today, oh boy, I'm going to be reading your thirst tweets. I'm gonna say I've never done this before. I've seen it everywhere, and I've never wondered how I would react to this. I'm actually curious myself, honestly.
Oh no.
So I'm going in. Goodness, already. I just be horny and love Christian Yu. I just be horny. I hope you calm down a little. Oh boy. I love you too. On to the next. If they get DPR Ian to read thirst tweets, I might have to delete my account. Well, this wasn't so bad, was it? I mean, I hope you don't delete your account. Goodness. Are you horny too? No, I'm kidding. Jesus Christ. I cannot.
I love the counter, the goodness, and the knee slap counter on the top. It's great.
Thirst tweets that are kind of like this. My goodness. Yeah, but please don't delete your account. Oh, DPR Ian could fold me like an origami, and I would thank him for folding you like an origami. That sounds terrible. Goodness, I would hate to do that. That's almost like a contortionist, isn't it? But oh boy, I'm sure there's like a different meaning to this. It sounds almost a little sexual, doesn't it? Oh, it is?
It is.
Okay, makes sense. All right. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at this. It's very visual. Folding someone like an origami, doesn't sound too nice, unless you're really flexible. Christian Yu posting that shirtless video is why I decided to pull my life together once again. I'm quite confused about this one. Does that mean I kind of slapped some sense into you with that shirtless video? Is why I decided to put my life together once again. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Oh, it's a good thing. Oh, okay. I thought like when she saw that, they didn't like it.
I want to see how many knee slaps and goodness.
Like, I gotta get focused again. I gotta get my life back together. I was living under a rock. I did not know Christian Yu and DPR Ian were the same person. You know what? I don't blame you. I like DPR Ian for the music and Christian Yu for his hot, sexy, goofy, awkward self. Goodness, I mean, I am the same person. But I guess while on stage, I'm, DPR Ian. People probably know me like that. But you know, I am Christian Yu and I am pretty goofy. But I'm so glad you think that. And how do you feel now that it's the same person? Oh man, this is crazy. I just don't know how to. This is like the first time I'm reading any of these. So this person just remembered Christian Yu is a Virgo man. You know what? I like astrology. It's quite accurate. But what does that mean? And 2 breaking heart emojis. What does a Virgo man mean? Oh, is that what it is? I break 2 hearts. Oh my goodness. Really? I hope I don't break anyone's heart. I've had my heart broken a few times. If that's what that means, it's pretty accurate. But I do only have 1 heart. Okay, this next one is a bit of a task. This message is to DPR Ian. Arf, 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 woof, woof, arf, 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 bark, bark. That is all. Hashtag tweet CLO. I believe that was meant to simulate a wild animal noise. I just realized what this was. At some of our shows, sometimes people start barking. Is that kind of like hooting your horn at somebody? Oh, okay, I love it. I love it. Jeez.
No.
I love this. I just cannot. My goodness, I could just read this all day. I need to make DPR Ian my baby girl. Oh my goodness, I've heard it all. People call me daddy, mommy, and now baby girl. Come here, pretty boy, and sit on my lap. Yes, ma'am. I'll gladly oblige. If someone said that to me in real life, I don't know how I'd react. I think I'll say, okay, I'll be right there. So thank you, sweetie. I'll be on your lap pretty soon. Oh goodness. Call me old-fashioned, but I was raised to serve DPR Ian. Got me there. I clean the dishes and cooking food. I do whatever he says because he is my husband and he makes the rules around the house. He owns me. If he ever cheats on me, it's because I was lacking. I feel so bad all of a sudden. I don't know why. No. Don't ever feel bad, you're not lacking. I don't know why it feels so personal right now. Goodness, I can do the dishes, I can do the food. I'm a pretty good cook myself. And no, you're definitely not lacking. And if I ever cheat,
No.
which I won't, by the way, I'm not that type of person. It's because I screwed up, so I'm sorry. Goodness, I read a whole story. It feels like I'm in a movie right now. STFU, which is shut the f up. No one talks to me. I saw sweat trickling down DPR Ian's abs. No, you did not. You did not see sweat trickling down anyone's
No,
abs.
you
Because
did
I've never
not.
seen sweat trickling down my abs at all. Does DPR Ian / Christian Yu want another dog? Oh my goodness, I already know where this is gonna go. Because I can bark woof woof bitch, all right? This whole dog thing, going whole animalistic and wild. I love it. It seems like you're untamed. You're definitely barking up the right tree. Okay, we need to talk about how much
so funny.
Riz DPR Ian has. Like, it's unbelievable. I'm so sorry. What is Riz?
Charisma.
Oh, what? People call it Riz?
Riz,
I knew
yes.
that. Can we edit that part out? Yeah, people call me a boomer. This is the most flattering tweet I think I've ever seen. Really? Someone thinks I have that much game? You think that about me? I'm a true introvert. So I've always had trouble even talking to someone that I had a feeling for. So I don't think I've ever talked game before, actually, which is why it's quite rather interesting. This has me thinking quite a lot. I know I shouldn't be so deep about these tweets, but I'm not sure if these are thirst tweets anymore. Riz, learn something new every day. I had a dream where Christian Yu was my daddy. And sorry, what? He made me lick his boots. Then I woke up in a cold sweat. It sounds like a terrible nightmare if you ask me. And you just woke up from a nightmare. That's what usually happens when you wake up from a nightmare. You start sweating. Or a fever dream. It sounds like a fever dream. I made you lick my boot. I don't think I would ever do that to anybody. That's enough to make anyone sick. But thank you. I would gladly be your daddy.
Thank you.
You know, in the beginning, I thought daddy was actually like people calling me dad, and I was so baffled. But now I get it. These emoticons are getting me. What is that? Is that a tomato? No, it's a red face and it's sweating. Or star eyes. And then you have Spank Me Daddy with an unusual crinkly face. That sounds like a whole experience. That sounds like me when I eat something spicy.
He's a boomer. I
The whole
cannot.
daddy thing. I've heard Spank Me before. Who hasn't? I love it, you know. But thank you. I'll gladly spank you. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I said that. People think I'm actually like this. No, I'm not like this. Am I blushing? Am I getting red? I think I feel like I'm getting red. DPR Ian can choke and step on me. It sounds like we're in MMA or something, you know, and then grab my hair until I go bald. And I'll still be thankful for it. If you're bald, I would never do that. That sounds terrifying. If someone grabbed my hair and then just ripped the living hair out of me, I'll be absolutely petrified. Is this like legal? Like, are we allowed to say all of this? I think I'll pass on this one, but hey, whatever rocks your world, I'm here for it. Next one. It sounds so innocent. Oh my God, until you read the... That's like a little bit of Jekyll and Hyde going on here. I would let DPR Ian rearrange your guts, rearrange your guts. And you have the nice little star signs as if it's like something that a fairy would say. Boy, it's getting more and more violent as we go on, ladies and gentlemen. Rearrange your guts.
Very...
Like how would you rearrange it? Why would you want to rearrange your guts? Well, let me think. Really? So everyone knows this? You're internally having your guts rearranged. Why would you do that? Does that mean like I make you like sick to the stomach because of how like it's hot someone is? I'm a little confused on this one. I'm gonna look it up a little bit later.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's... I shouldn't do that. It's kind of weird how everyone knows this. Christian Yu, choke me, marry me, and kill me. All of the above now, is it? I feel like a murderer at this point. I feel like I'm being investigated for something. This is quite terrifying. First it's rearrange someone's guts, and then now it's like, I'm marrying you and killing you at the same time. I'll leave the killing part out, but okay.
This poor man has
This
no
one's
clue.
a little bit better. So apparently Christian Yu
So funny.
smells sexy. Do I smell sexy? Oh, I smell all right.
Can you say it again, how it's written?
Yes. So apparently Christian Yu smells, oh, like sex. You know, oh my goodness. Okay, wait. See, those are two
The
totally
producer-
different
Yes.
meanings. I'll still smell
Yep.
myself. I don't know. I don't think I'll leave it up to you. On to the next. Christian Yu was literally
He's getting
having
so
his
flustered.
breakfast and he turned me on. We can't be couple because I might die from orgasms without having him touching me. Like literally his visual can make me wet. Was it always like this? Was all the other third suites like this? I'm just wondering. This is quite graphic. Holy moly. Macaroni, this is insane. Oh boy, I
He
feel like
did not
this is
just
so
say
illegal.
that. I
And I'm still
cannot.
rereading it. I might die just trying to get it. Orgasm without having him touching
He
me
has
like
to read it
literally
again.
his can make okay. Thank you. I don't know what I was having for breakfast, but I'll think about that next time I have breakfast. Christian Yu, you owe my ovaries an apology. I'm sorry to your ovaries. I would like to
Hi, you come back up.
apologize. I hope. I'll just stop here, man. It's getting a little hot. It's getting pretty hot in here. Not sure if it's the studio lights, but it's getting pretty insane. Oh goodness. DPR Ian, more like DPR eat me now. Oh boy, I know what that means. So I'm not gonna reiterate this. I know what that means. I will give you 8 points for creativeness. That's a name I've never heard before. DPR eat me now. Okay. Later. Wait, no, not later. What are you talking about? Goodness, how many of these are there? Good morning. I just want to say that DPR Ian, rail me, please, sir. Rail you. Toot toot. On to the next. DPR Ian is probably one of the few guys I'd let it hit it. Whoa, whoa. Like, Lord, have mercy. It says with a TH. I don't know if that was deliberate, but it adds a lot to this right now. I don't care if I get knocked up. It'd be worth it. Let's make us a little Dreamers family. I like how you said Dreamers family. You're very inclusive of that. And you don't care if you get knocked up. I'm trying to remember what that means. If that means you knocked up means getting pregnant. It'd be worth it. Oh dear. Hit it raw. So okay, it makes a lot of sense now. That means you probably get a high percentage
boomer.
of getting pregnant. I get it. Why was that so hard to like?
He's
so thank you.
14.
Who
We're
is
at
Christian
14.
Yu? And why do I want to pounce on his dick? Like pounce like a cat or something on my dick. Why do you want to do that? Pounce. Dear DPR Ian, as if this was meant to be like a nice letter. I want to eat your thick 2 C's ass. Sincerely, me. You want to eat my thick ass? Oh boy, how do you know it's thick? You want to eat my thick ass? What are you going to eat it with? A spoon? Someone's going to pounce on my dick. Someone wants to eat my ass. I'm getting destroyed here. Christian Yu, would you like to? Of course. Dick me down, it's for science, hun. Why would that be for science? Dicking someone down? Does that mean something? Am I missing something again?
Yes,
Usually
you
people
are.
would say that when they're resorting to something and they're making an excuse for it. But this is pretty direct. I don't think you need to excuse yourself with the science. I think that makes it a little bit more confusing. Just say you want to dick me down. I'm over it now. I'm used to it now. I'm so numb. I'm getting my ass eaten, my dick pounced. If DPR Ian needs a hole, he can use all 3. Then I'll pull apart the folds of space to create new ones just for him. Whoa, let me just really breathe this one in. If DPR Ian needs a hole, like a hole, he can use all 3. All 3, what do you mean by that? This sounds more like a science question. I'll put apart the folds of space to create new ones. What do you mean by 3 holes? Are you talking about the holes on our body? No, including the one on my bum, I think that's 4. So you're a little wrong there. I got 4 holes. About 2 here, 1 there. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Got 6 holes. What are you talking about? I'll pull apart the folder space to create new ones. Like the folds in your body, just to create another hole. To create new ones just for it.
They have to do a
on you. Oh wait, sorry. This isn't on me. Still, we all have 2 nostrils, 2 ear holes. It still applies to you at the same time. Oh, to create new ones.
No, to do a montage because he was thinking about it for too long.
Please don't do that. That would be awkward. I would hate to see a hole on your thigh or something like that. Please, 3 holes is plenty. It's beautiful. Oh my goodness, I don't know why this is so hard. Well, thank you. No need to do that, dear. Oh my gosh, and that was it? I cannot right now. This is insane. Man, this was crazy. Wow. Yes.
Yes, this poor man.
My hands are just like, I'm frozen in space right now. How do I feel? How does everyone else feel right now? I don't think it's valid for me right now. I don't know how to feel. I feel like I got destroyed somehow. I feel pretty weird, but I'm flattered. Thank you so much. You know what? It's like one of those, it's like if people had these thoughts, you know, those thoughts running through your head, and then it just happened to end up on tweet. That's kind of what it feels like right now. But it's good. It's good to know. You guys are very creative. I'll give you that. It's kind of weird to promote something right now. Oh boy. So those were my thirst tweets here at BuzzFeed. I am absolutely burning up right now. Make sure to listen to Dear Insanity. If that makes you horny too, then I am completely lost for words.
I can't. He's so getting so flustered. He there was times he just literally was like, I don't understand this. He's just such a oh, he's so sweet though, and he's like, wait a second. It took him a hot minute on some of them. Wow. All right. Well, I feel like we just analyzed a lot of thirst tweets. DPR style, and then he finally got it, and then some he didn't. It was really funny, but this was a great little video. It was funny. I can see why it's kind of like a rite of passage to watch this. Glad that I added it in, but we had the doc and the interview serious side that got into some funny stuff. It was a great little mix. But tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed, we will have the Zach Sang show. It hopefully doesn't get blocked over here. If it does, it will be over on Patreon. If that is the case, thank you for joining me on this week. If that's not the case, see you tomorrow. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later.